Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Tournament. My name is Marion, and I'll be your host for today. But fear not, for I am not alone. Who's joining me in the booth today?
Hello, everybody. I am Rico V53.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Rico. I'm sure we're ready to have a grand old time with Week 3, the Guardian Slayer. Well, with that said, we should probably get into what Guardian Slayer actually is. Now, we got a little bit of a special race going on today between Cestrion and awp82. Both of these runners have been undefeated this tournament, both winning Week 1 and Week 2 respectively, but sadly, one of them have to lose today. So who will come out victorious? Who will defeat all three Guardians first? Well, we'll find out. Rico, why don't you run through what Guardian Slayer actually entails for us today?
Sure thing. So for those of you who don't know, Guardian Slayer settings are there are only 3 STKs, and each one of those keys is on one of the major bosses. So basically, you can sort of think of it as there are still 9 keys, but 6 of them are red, because chances are the Inghive keys will not matter.
Absolutely, yes. Out of all the bosses, 2 of them can be skipped, kind of, and one of them hard requires its keys. There is no workaround, period, that we know of. So with that being said, you mentioned Quad might skip its keys, but how is that possible?
Well, as long as you essentially do not have a vanilla Annihilator Beam, or Annihilator Beam be locked by whatever item is on Quad, you can just go into the Quad boss arena from the back door that normally you don't have access to until after you beat Quad and pick up your Annihilator Beam.
That's a very interesting concept you got there. Use the item you get from Quad Vanilla to skip its entire gate requirement.
Yep.
Well, there is a secondary method, a little bit harder, but it is completely doable. Although not recommended. That's I believe we call it gate skip, by using a bomb space jump over the gate into a screw attack. But the downside is you have to do that on the reverse, and that's a whole heck of a problem. Other than that, a Morbus, a Dark Aegon, those keys can technically be skipped, but it requires out of bounds movement. And if, as remembered from both Week 1 and 2, out of bounds is strictly forbidden. So we must get the keys for Morbus and Chica at minimum. Just to get the green light and be A-okay. So we're just, I gotta contact our race organizer and let him know that we're actually ready. There we go. It's been notified, so we'll be waiting just a few extra minutes for that countdown to come down.
Well, while we're waiting for that, there is one RA for this race, and that is they have RA in the new patcher. So the new patcher is not included in the default settings because it is still considered experimental. But basically what it does is it allows for some of the puzzles that are always the same to be randomized, and changes the layers on a couple of rooms, most notably the GFM ceiling. So with the new patcher, all of the rooms on the way to GFMC will start in their second layer.
And that'll be great, especially for one room titled Trooper Security Station. Now, usually, Security Station, that big old hallway after you first meet a group of dark troopers to get into the ship's compound. Now, in vanilla game, you go around a small little morph ball hole, you scan a terminal, and it raises the gate. Can't do that in new patcher. You either need power bombs or screw a tech to break that gate. But with that being said, the countdown has started. We are going to get this race rocking and rolling. And important to note, elevators are normal, and we have 1 to 3 starting items in Great Temple. And our starting items today are Light Beam. Well, that's good to know.
I mean, that's definitely a nice beam to see, but I would 100% prefer to be given Dark Beam.
I completely agree with. Oh, screw attack right off the bat, though.
Well, that is interesting.
Yeah, that's telling us Space Jump is probably somewhere soon. And for quality of life, we do have Violet. Oh, Space Jump is in Sand Cache. Okay, then. So we need Amber to get our Space Jump. All right, so with that being said, we're going to jump right into Albert the Alpha Splinter.
Are there any screw attack at Z-axis settings in this?
Not for this preset, no. As Z-axis, I need to double check. It might be considered intermediate to advanced. But I believe, at least, especially in early Temple Grounds, there's little to no use for a Z-axis. I think the Grand Wind Chamber might have one, but I need to do more research on it. And Cestrion giving us a little high with his power beam pellets.
Now, that light beam is very nice here for this, since, as you can see, it's just melting Dark Alpha Splinter.
Oh, great. We got a vanilla ETM. That's lovely.
Hey, at least they're valid.
Oh, wow. That's
that
actually big information. Yeah, that was a suit. Transport B access has a suit. So that means runners will have to come back here later, either with Space Jump or bombs.
Oh, another thing that New Patcher allows is it allows you to change the colors of Samus's suit based on, like, the multiplayer colors. As you can see, both of our runners today are rocking the blue Varia suit.
In my opinion, blue is the best color out of all of them.
Yeah, I like the white.
White's good. I like that white dark suit, though, is beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's the best. And honestly, the gold light suit has grown on me. I did not see what is in Taz, but it looks like Cestrion is going for it.
Yeah, that might be our missile expansion to get us some mock missiles. Oh, and we're doing a trick known as Taz Jump. So a thing you'll be hearing throughout the tournament is a trick known as slope jumping. Now, what is a slope jump, and how does it apply to what we're doing here as both runners are attempting? Rico, I'll let you take that one.
Basically, well, as you can see, Cestrion has successfully got it, and Op is going for it as well. Basically, there's an issue with the Seeker launch.
Seeker, that's worth it. Oh yeah.
Basically, there is an issue with how the game's physics runs, in which that if you jump off of a sloped surface, you will actually jump higher than if you were standing on solid ground. Why that is the case, I cannot tell you, but that is the case in both Metroid Prime and Echoes.
That's correct.
And Cestrion is just
momentum.
And Cestrion is scanning that gate to get himself repositioned by the cutscene, so you do not have to move that crate. Saves a couple seconds.
Yeah, personally, I like to say save the crate just in case you need to use it for later. But a Curse Lake has a missile related, so that could be supers, and there's Amber Translator, so we can get our space jump.
It cannot be supers. The only missile system...
That's beam.
Yes.
That's beam related, right?
The only missile systems in Echoes are Missile Launcher and Seeker Launcher, and they already grabbed Seekers.
You're absolutely right. I had a brain fart. Well, we still get space jump. We have Amber Translator coming to Aegon. That'll do both runners amazing things as we can right away get our hints. Cestrion's decided to take the long way around. We don't have any bombs or space jump to get across. They could, if they want to be a little risky, they could pull off a bunny hop. Well, Tumos is gone. We know that. That's good to have. And nice little time save by utilizing the translator hint as a standable piece of collision.
I've never thought to do that. That is something I will have to remember.
I've never seen it, but it makes sense. You know, you have that little platform for the translator to appear in, with it sticking out of the wall ever so slightly. The general rule for Echoes and Prime as well: if you see a piece of collision or item that looks like you can stand on it, 99% of the time you can stand on it.
And Op doing the same thing, so apparently we are the only people here who didn't know about that.
Hey, you learn something new every day. I'll take it.
Yep.
Now, unfortunately, due to the lack of bombs, we're not going to be able to progress further through Portal Terminal, but we can get the Amber Hint here. Oh, yeah.
Translator is in Temple Grounds.
And there's the hint for Amorbus. We know it has a key.
There are a couple always hints in that they will always show up no matter what. And those are where the temple keys are and what the bosses are holding. So even though we know what Amorbus has, the game will still generate a hint to tell us what Amorbus has.
Yeah, I like that the game does it. It's a nice quality of life assurance saying, yeah, you don't have to go fight the bosses to find the information, especially for some of those who may be not as comfortable with doing these bosses, and Quadraxis especially, because you're taking damage every second of that fight. And the bosses are just annoying to do in the first place. So Baltimore's are following each other's steps, though.
Fun, but it takes so long.
I completely agree. Chica is a terrible fight, depending on the lack of equipment that you have.
And Cestrion demonstrating that you can break those bombable doors with the screw attack. You can also do it with a boost ball boost and, unsurprisingly, a power bomb.
It's a power bomb.
Alternatively, you can just skip it entirely by space jumping over.
Oh, and Cestrion's going for a 3-cycle here, utilizing help from the Seekers.
Not quite sure why, because it looked to me like they got the setup for the 2-cycle on the first run through.
No, I think he was off by the pellet on the first shot.
And there are vanilla bombs.
A vanilla bomb guardian. Well, they couldn't really have been much place else due to the lack of checks we have, especially if you started entering pirate labs. You know, we're really running terribly low. We can't do Dark Samus. We don't have Dark Beam, and logically using the screw attack to break those gates. No, I think that might fall under beginner logic.
The only downside to that is that now there is no way to dupe DMT or Dark Missile Trooper, but since we know where one of the suits is and it's already within logic, it's not that big a deal.
Well, I mean, bombs could have been other places. No, they couldn't have been communication area. No, not really much. DMT might have been like the only other thing bombs could have been on.
Which would have been very enjoyable. It would essentially have been vanilla bombs with an extra step.
What's the next? Yeah, that's fair. Oh, but Cestrion's taking the Sand Canyon route. Is going for Vent Area B. I'm not sure if I like
technically faster.
Well, either way, we found Dark Beam here, so that was a good. I don't know what I'm saying. You know what? That's a good check. You're right next to Sand Canyon. You might as well, since you're here, check your bomb logic, and just go for it.
And you can go straight back to Mining Station B and get what's there too. because they already have
absolutely.
Seekers.
That is exactly what Cestrion's going for. Just a missile expansion. Not too great, but we will certainly take more missiles this early. Especially knowing that we have to fight Cheka and Quad. Both fights. Missiles are highly recommended. And Mining Station B appears to have ammo expansion or missiles, while the hint tells us Cobalt is on Boost Guardian.
That is good knowledge to have. Cobalt is hopefully not needed, but you never know.
The only thing we would need Cobalt for, since we're running vanilla translators, is if Sync Map Station has a required major or a temple key, or B, if Spider Guardian has anything that we need. It's great for the hints, but other than that, those two locations hard require Cobalt.
And Op is following largely the same route as Cestrion and picking up her Dark Beam.
I really like finding Dark Beam this early, especially because we haven't done the first loop of Dark Aegon yet. Only because of Incash 4.
Oh yeah, and if you could just luck into Spider Ball, that would be perfect, because then you can grab Junction Site as well.
Oh, that's fair. We wouldn't have to come back here for any reason. I mean, Junction Site alone, you don't want to isolate a check at any point, especially when that's one room and it's out of the way. Junction Site and Cache 4 are great examples. You need one specific item to get there, and if you don't have it, congratulations. When are you ever going to come back to this area?
Looks like Cestrion's going straight for the first Dark Aegon loop. I was kind of curious about this, considering they know where their Dark Suit is, and whether or not they would go back for it. Looks like Cestrion is electing to just go for the loop, while Op may very well be going for the suits. Oh, no, she's turned around. Guess decided against it.
Yep, and Cestrion got that sand block first try. A nice little time skip.
Yeah, so that Morph Ball bombable sandstone block can also be broken by Screw Attack. And this game actually only checks to see if the third block is broken to unlock the portal. So you can just skip the first two blocks and save yourself a bit of time.
Right, because the game's logic of thinking is saying, hey, if you've destroyed block C, then you must have destroyed blocks B and A, so as such, your script and cutscene are only tied to block C. And we can abuse the heck out of that in multiple places in this game. Alright, but Crossroad. Crossroad has... that looked important. Or it was just a missile expansion. I gotta go check the replay on it. But no, I agree with what they're doing here. This is what, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 checks, practically in a single line in a big old circle. And if they have anything major, that's going to save us a trip coming back here. Granted, we still have to come back here for them.
So, for those of you who don't know, the trigger to summoning Warrior Ings is to enter that little light bubble that he just rolled around.
Yeah, to be careful with those trigger points. And we are not destroying the crystal for today.
He cannot destroy the crystal. Geez. You need Boost Ball to damage it. Those little Lightbringers can only be damaged by Boost Ball.
You get away this time, Lightbringer. But next time we will have our revenge. Open Cestrion abusing the damage to get a guaranteed big health drop. Yep, as that goes, has what we like to refer as the game gives you what you need the most drop system. So if you're low on health, you're more likely to get a health drop. If you're low on power bombs, you're more likely to get a power bomb drop.
As opposed to Prime 1, where the game sadistically mocks you.
And I'm being told that those Lightbringers can be destroyed by Screw Attack as well.
Oh, I did not know
missiles
that.
And a lot of... Hey, you learn something new every day. Red key! Oh, there's our first red key. Which one is it? What is it, Transit Station? What do you got? That's an Aegon key. That is required. Alrighty, we found Dark Aegon Key 1. Now, Reek, why is Cestrion shooting this defenseless statue with light beam and missiles?
Because the statue is secretly evil.
Oh?
So,
and how so?
What Cestrion was actually doing is the game preloads Jump Guardian's hitbox into this room. Even though you cannot see it, it is standing right where it jumps from in that cutscene. So you can just stand there and pummel it with damage and knock down its health almost all the way. For one reason or another, you cannot kill Jump Guardian before it has fully loaded, but you can bring it down to 1 health.
Yeah, we're very thankful the game has a security code in it. At least that's what I'm thinking. Don't quote me. But there's a safety lock on it that says, hey, if this fight trigger has not yet been activated, then this flag cannot be set. And that flag just so happens to be the item drop in Jump Guardian's death.
Ooh, and also taunting me with that warrior ring.
And Cestrion has completed the Dark Aegon early route. We're going right for Transit Station. We'll find that first Dark Aegon key. And most likely, well, we have 2 different routes we can go. We have Dark Beam, Light Beam, and bombs. So either A, we can go for Compound and clean up some temple grounds, or B, continue on the bomb logic and dive deeper into Aegon Labs. Now, each route could pay off. Personally, I'd say do some Aegon Labs cleanup.
That's probably what I would go with too. Because without power bombs, you can't really get that far into the GFMC loop. I mean, you can grab what's in Communication Center, and that is often important. But then again, they also know that their dark suit is there, so that's always nice to have.
But it looks like Cestrion's going right back for Temple Grounds. We have Amber and Violet, so we can get the Hive Chamber loop with Hive Chamber A and B.
Yeah, and considering that he took the elevator instead of warping, his goal is almost certainly the Hive.
Absolutely. And thankfully this gate can be destroyed backwards. We can scan the terminal and fire a missile. Thankfully the blast radius of the missile damages both the those little red locks. So we're good to go.
And apparently you can also do that with the Charged Annihilator Beam, which is something I learned from this tournament, because that was how the race I did with Op in Week 1 expected us to get our missile launcher.
That is a terrible route, and I'm sorry. And we see Op performing the same trip Cestrion did. She's up here at the statue, shooting Jump Guardian's hitbox, and then we'll trigger the fight, and Jump Guardian will be bye-bye.
And that is a boost ball on DMT. Cestrion showing off one of the many ways you can just make that optional boss trivial by freezing it with the Charged Dark Beam and shattering it with a missile. You can also melt it with a power bomb or set it on fire with the light beam.
Because DMT is a boss that is damaged by almost everything and is not. I wouldn't classify DMT as a boss. Maybe mini boss status, if that.
Has a health bar.
Oh, come on, that can't be the defining quality. I mean, look at Caretaker Drone. That doesn't have a health bar.
Fair. Just a lot of bad memories for me.
Yeah, you and I both, my friend. Caretaker Drone is a terrible, terrible thing to do in Sank.
And Op is warping back to start, going straight for that dark suit.
Yeah, dark suit, and would assume, based on Amber, if she's following the Amber logic, we might be seeing a play for early Torvus.
Well, with the boost ball, that puts Hall of Honor dead in logic because they have Seekers.
That's fair. We can go get that. And real quick, before we continue on, I see in chat we do have a question. Why do we already have 6 STKs? Well, we're running for week 3 of the Echoes tournament. We're running a preset that we like to call the Guardian Slayer. Now, what that means is out of the 9 STKs, we start with 6. So we're only looking for 3 keys. But here's why we call it Guardian Slayer. The remaining 3 keys that we need are on the 3 temple bosses, Amorbus, Cheka, and Quadraxis. So unfortunately, we have to fight all 3 bosses just to beat our game. And
we were just talking earlier about how Screw Attack also puts that in logic, and I immediately forgot it. Ooh,
oh, and there's Amber.
That is a nice catch.
Ooh. Did I just call it Amber?
Yes, you did.
Well, I clearly can't tell colors today.
Op is opting to check Plane of Dark Worship.
No pun intended. Yeah, Plane of Dark Worship. Pod W can be great sometimes.
Is that super?
Especially if it's a missile of some sort. I can't tell what type. Yeah, it's just a regular expansion.
I
nice
did not
hit game.
I didn't see what that hint was.
Where the boost ball can be found.
Oh, nice. And for those of you who did not see, Reliquary is dead, as that hint was for a life support system, and you need Light Suit to logically get to it.
And as far as chat goes, unfortunately, no. We those 3 hints for all the temple bosses. Those hints are still in the pool. We found one earlier over in Mining Station A that Amorbus was guarding Sky Temple Key. So unfortunately, we do not get 3 extra hints, although that would be great. Oh, there's our missile launcher. We've been looking for that.
That is kind of interesting.
But you know, while we're going around collecting these items, let's go ahead and take a step back and figure out.
So missile launcher is locked by Emerald.
Absolutely. So we had to go get Space Jump over in Aegon just to come back to get missiles, which actually is fully logical. You know, Screw Attack was on Umos. Space Jump was in Sandcatch, which was Amber locked. Amber was practically free. So yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Completely logical. So now, based on this, I mean, we have Boost Ball, we have Emerald. Emerald's going to be great to have for later once we get to Torvus. As we know, Torvus is required.
And those Emerald hints tend to be very powerful.
Oh, big time. We saw that. Now, we had that happen last week with a lot of the alternate settings. Emerald was just fully loaded with game-breaking hints to set runners on the right track. All right. But I would say Op is probably going to do her Hive Chamber loop while Cestrion completes Pod W. And then I wouldn't be surprised if they went and did a peek over at Hall of Honor Although
Looks like
that would
Cestrion got baited by that orange glow too.
hey, sometimes it's hard to see. Although what do you want to see on Hall of Honor, though, Rico?
Hmm.
I mean, that's an isolated check, you know. You have to go through Great Temple just to get to it right now.
I'm kind of feeling supers.
Oh, you're gonna be that mean, huh?
I just think it'd be funny to have supers in the seeker spot.
That would be kind of nice. I don't know. I kind of want to see if I had to put something there. Probably Spider Ball. Just have it the most out of the way from any spider check.
I have seen Spider Ball there before.
Oh, nice. Oh, that looks like Cestrion might be doing that, taking a save warp to Great Temple. As right now, we can't go through. Yes, we can. That's a regular door. Yeah, because the super door is on the meeting ground side. So yeah, we can get.
Yep, and since they have seekers, they can just open the door.
Yep, I was thinking the super door was somewhere else. So no, we don't need to go through. We don't need that warp over at Great Temple. We can walk right to it.
And it looks like Op is doing the same thing as well. There is a red key.
It's a red key. That could be required. We need red keys. Yeah, this makes sense. You're following off the Seeker logic and the boost belt that you just got. So just keep that logic train a-rolling. And with a movement system here in Defiled Shrine, well...
You kind of want to hope that is Grapple Beam.
I'm wondering if that might be Gravity Boost of all things.
Yeah, if it's Gravity Boost, that's not what you want to see.
And did something just
Dark
disconnect?
Aegon Key too. It sounded like that to me too. It might have been me.
I don't know. I heard it and I don't remember what it was. Sorry to all you listeners out there. We just had a minor technical fault with Discord, so we sincerely apologize. But Cestrion pulling off a wonderful skip to bypass the super door. And thanks, game. We already found Missile Launcher. Although I'm not too entirely sure why Cestrion is coming here, as we still need... Pretty sure we still need supers to progress this way.
No, they have logical access to Torvis.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah. We can go through the vanilla way. What am I thinking?
Well, mostly the vanilla way. You can just do a slope jump onto the platform and skip the entire gondola section. Which
that gondola is terrible, and you can't change my mind.
The only gondola that's worse is in Halo 2.
You know, I haven't played Halo 2 in forever. That'd be nice, though. Halo is a great series. Annihilator Beam is a Dark Aegon. Up to 3 rooms away from portal access. So that could be Warrior's Walk or Battleground. And here we see 2 major route differences. Cestrion's decided to go take the Torvis play based on the Boost Ball, Dark Beam, and Light Beam, while Op has decided to go for Central Mining and dip into Aegon Labs.
Since we know that Annihilator is in Aegon, this could pay off for her. Because something could be potentially in Cache 2.
That's fair. Yeah, we don't know anything about labs currently, but we do know it's up to 3 rooms away. So this will be interesting to see what route plays off. Energy transfer module. That's good to know. We don't need that check now. I like the Torvis play from Cestrion. Torvis has a lot of great information, especially with Emerald. It's, well, granted, Upper doesn't really have too much, but get these checks out of the way. But I agree with Chat. You really don't want to dip in until you find supers.
There is light suit, so this has paid off for Cestrion.
Okay, so we know where both suits are. One in Great Temple, one in Torvis. Light suit's gonna be great once we find some light suit checks.
So with that, Cestrion will not have to leave Feeding Pit behind when he goes through labs, and can just get back into Aegon pretty easily through the elevator, since they have Seekers and Emeralds.
Oh,
wait, no, but they do not have supers, so they cannot activate that elevator.
No, but huge information for Op. She just found out that Battleground Incash has a key on it. So if that's an Aegon key, that'll be pretty sweet. Although we found 2 of them, and I cannot recall where that second one was. I really wish I remembered where that was.
Oh, there is Dark Visor. It looks like Torvis may have been the play after all.
Dark Visor. Dark Visor is, well...
That lets Cestrion get Battleground.
That'll give us access to the key. Yep. All right, Hall of Honor dead. Thank you, Chet. I remember because we had that red key over there. You're absolutely right. So thank you for that. All right. Oh, there's another red key on Doomed Entry. All right, so here comes Op. She's going right into Feeding Pit to check Incash 2. Now, does Vanilla Light Beam hold anything special for us today? Or will this just be a lot of bait?
And there is Sunburst on Forgotten Bridge.
Personally, I like Sunburst. It does have its practical uses. Oh, and we're going for Gate Skip. Well, Gate Skip number 2. I can't name both tricks Gate Skip. And Cestrion gets it first try like it's nothing. That is a lot harder than what it seems.
Yeah, so that is a very difficult and finicky trick that I cannot do, at all. That is a hard trick, and he made it look easy.
Yeah, so to briefly go over Torvis Gate Skip. In order to get to the far side of Torvis Plaza, we need to go through Dark Torvis Arena first, get the boost ball, lower the gate from the Dark Torvis side, and then come back through it through light. And there's an Annihilator, by the way, on Battleground, so that's really helpful. That means Op does not need the Inghive keys at all. We can skip them.
And if you watch, Op is demonstrating a little bit about how broken some of these Ing's pathfinding skills are. So if you powerbomb the first 2 Ing and Light Beam, those 2 light beacons, chances are that most of the Warrior Ing will just walk straight into the field of death.
And Cestrion's trying to peek Torvis Plaza here. Trying to get a closer look. Oh, nope, he's understandable. Now we gotta get extra height for that bridge in the distance.
I need to learn how he does this.
He's so cool.
I am so bad at the other one.
That's the last Aeon key. All right. Good to know that. Yeah, so what we see Cestrion doing here is Spiderless Torvus Plaza. There's there's a few different methods for this. This method I've yet to see in person, nor have I heard about it, but it makes complete sense. We're abusing standables to our own game. Although now it looks like we're trying to get a slope jump off of this little bridge, which we did.
And he gets it.
And he sees that that item is our energy tank. Yeah, we'll do all that for an energy tank. That's a good reward.
Yeah, at this point, I would grab that too. I mean, even though he has light suit, with that little health, probably not feeling safe. Now, Cestrion is a good enough player that I doubt not having the energy would stop him. But you still want it. And Op is opening the in-cache and doesn't find anything she wants.
No, nothing in Sonic Boom Room. So I was good with Plaza. I'll take that. You know, I did a slope jump over to standable terrain on the tree, and then another slope jump onto another tree. Then it just slope jumps all over the place.
And you've got to appreciate the confidence of Op just tanking all that phase on.
Oh yeah, when you got Dark Suit, 2 energy, yeah, Phazon's not a big deal until it starts eating away all your health, and then you're left with nothing.
Now the nice thing about Echoes is, there's supers in Med Vista.
Oh, that's going to be huge. Supers
yeah, that
and
is
Torvus.
huge.
That's going to open up the rest of Torvus for us. Cestrion's in good position right now. And there's a second joke hint. But Op does have good positioning as well. She found the last Aegon key. There's a Supers Echo. Echo's going to be great once we get to Quadraxis. So Echo is required. You know, speaking of required items, Rika, we might as well go down the list here. We have 3 big old bosses we really want to get to. But how exactly do we go about fighting each of them? You know, we need to have a certain set of items for them.
Oh, that's... Op just found Grapple Beam in Sand Processing, so that means that the File Shrine is Grav Boost.
Yep. There's very few movement systems in Echoes.
So that is actually good knowledge for Op to have.
Yeah, but that's also a terrible location because you gotta go all the way to the Defiled Shrine just for
I think she realized it though. Look at the pause.
Yeah, taking note of it, trying to think and plan. Yeah, look at the race time room. That's gonna tell all. And yes, gate skip just cut all this in half. Yeah, gate skip, we would need to we could have gone the vanilla route. It would have just taken a little bit of time. But it was completely logical. But we did get the information Dark Torvus Arena had something that we really want on it.
Now, Cestrion is demonstrating that Jump or Boost Guardian is in fact weak to power bombs. So the placing of the power bomb can be a little finicky because the blast can make Boost Guardian flinch and stagger back if you do it while it's still in solid form. But if you bait it to turn into the puddle by rolling forward and then dodging its slash, it does not have the same behavior when it's just a puddle of Ingoop and you can just obliterate its health with a single power bomb.
Puddle of Ingoop. You know what? I've got to remember that.
Well, I don't know any other way to describe it.
No, I like it. That's good. That's pretty good.
And Cestrion is giving us the extreme version of the always needing a power bomb in Putrid Alcove.
Yeah, but what red? Dark Torvus key. Okay, that's our first one. That is Putrid Alcove. So Dark Torvus key and Dark Torvus. Who would have thought? We had a Dark Aegon, a Dark Aegon, yeah, well, thanks, game. Oh, and Opus going for Dark Samus. One of the hardest boss fights in the entire game. And the fight's over.
Like most early bosses in this game, Dark Samus 1 does not have any resistance to power bombs. So a single well-placed power bomb will obliterate her as well.
And to answer chat, dark keys that we're looking for, they are randomized just like every other pickup in this game. The only exception, we know they are guaranteed not to be on temple bosses. So if we fought a Morbus, we know what we're going to find. We know it's not going to be a temple key.
Dark Oasis is dead. Beam-related upgrade, and we know where all the major beams are, as well as supers.
Yep, Cestrion has knowledge on supers and Echo, followed by Light Suit. Op has the knowledge of that last
boost.
Dark Aegon key and Gravity Boost. Now, Gravity Boost isn't really necessary unless we have a required item that is hard-locked by it. For example, Transit Tunnel East and Transit Tunnel South. Yeah, South and East.
Yep. And it certainly makes your life a lot easier if there's something on Alpha Blog.
Oh, big time, because you are not going to get that skip without it. If there is a skip without... Oh, there is a skip. I think it's, what is it, like reverse air underwater?
Horizontal air underwater.
Yeah, still the same thing.
You trigger the air underwater glitch while walking through a door.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. It is frame perfect. Well, it's difficult, but many people have done it. Yeah, so it just goes to show, practice makes perfect. No matter what your skill or talent level is, if you try hard enough and give enough practice, anything's possible.
Nothing of worth in Sand Canyon.
All right,
But yeah, so Alpha Blog, because there is no way you are supposed to be able to do it, has no resistance to screw attack. So if you can get a screw attack off on Alpha Blog by doing air underwater, you can kill it pretty much instantaneously.
And thanks to Cestrion having supers, we can safely enter this entire section of Torvus. And, well, we had Emerald. We could have... No, we still would have needed... Well, no, if we went backwards, we could have, but that would have just been a big old headache. Uh-oh. Cap's Morph Ball system is on...
That could be Spider Ball. Yes.
And Spider Ball is like something we really, really want.
And I think it can be main PBs as well. Because with Screw Attack, you don't need main PBs to get there. They have Seeker's Dark Visor. Cestrion has Light Suit and Cobalt. That is entirely in logic.
Oh, that's going to be really bad if that's Spider, because two things. Number one, we really want it for Quadraxis. Even though we can do the fight without it, it is extremely difficult for Phase 3. And number two, we especially want that for Emperor Ring 2.
And Cestrion demonstrating that the Seeker missiles tend to live up to their name and miss.
I said it once, I'll say it again. At least it's not Corruption's Seeker system. But Op found a power bomb expansion, and in turn found Cannonball. Well, that brings more confidence to what's on sync map.
Yep. Well, in theory, Cannonball shouldn't be hinted in these settings.
That's fair. Although Cestrion pulled off a great error underwater to get over here to Trading Chamber. We didn't need it, but it was nice to have.
Yeah, and there's confirmation.
Yep. Gravity Boost is Defiled Shrine. And Op has found her Emerald Translator. We have 3 out of the 4. And Cestrion finding another Power Bomb expansion. Oh, and Cestrion's... What are we doing? Oh, we're going to go ahead and jump over to Transit Tunnel East. Now, Op doesn't have light suits, so she can't get Fortress Transport access. But we can get the knowledge for the hint. Unfortunately, all it tells us is Boost Ball, which we found already.
Op does appear to be going to check Wind Chamber. I didn't catch that. Did you see what that hint was?
Oh, nope, I did not, as I just had a full soft crash.
Cestrion demonstrating a very nice screw attack bonk into that portal without dropping the gate.
Oh, but chat certainly saw it. There's a major upgrade in Under Transit 1.
What could that be at this point?
Well, we have the information that something is on sync map, Morph Ball related. Outside of that, the only majors we're really missing are not too much, actually.
Well, I think that has to be the other Morph Ball system.
So that
we know
means
where everything else is.
So that means main power bombs and Spider Ball are both hinted at. One's in Under Transit 1. One is over in sync map. But Cestrion has that's main power bombs.
So that is Spider in sync map.
Yes, it is officially confirmed. Spider Ball is in sync map, which requires Light Suit and Cobalt. And Light Suit is over in Torvus. Cobalt was also in Torvus, Boost Guardian. So we got required Boost Guardian. Look at that.
Yep.
So coming to Torvus early, skipping the entirety of Aegon Labs is really paying off for Cestrion here.
Yeah, I would agree.
I understand why Op went to Labs. You know, it made a great point. You know, you have access to Labs. You can almost full clear it. Hey, go there, get what you can out of the way.
And you know that Annihilator Beam is in Dark Labs.
Right, you have the knowledge for Annihilator, which is a great beam to have, and gets you into the back entrance to Quad.
I am not going to pretend that I 100% would have been baited by Labs as well. Because with that Annihilator just being hinted and it being there, I'd have immediately been thinking of that in cache.
Yeah, I'd probably be 50-50. You know, I would have liked to go to Aegon, but then again, you know, you have Torvus open. It's like, well, Torvus is a very bad place to go through. Do I get it out of the way now or save it for later? But I would say at this point, Op is most likely going straight for Torvus now. Yeah, she's done all the work that she can in in Aegon.
So really, at this point, the only unknowns are those other two Torvis keys. Nice air underwater there. So the way air underwater works is it is a frame-perfect trick, where if you morph on the exact frame that you enter water, then the game's physics get all wonky, and it assumes that you're not underwater, but also underwater.
Yeah, the game assumes you're on two different pieces of land at the same time. It assumes you're on land but what am I trying to say? You have the underwater properties, but you also are assumed to be on land. As such, it doesn't know what to do, and it gives you both properties, allowing us to enter a screw attack.
Interestingly, it also messes with every beam except for dark beam. So if you try to fire off Annihilator, Power Beam, or Light Beam, it will be as if it's hitting an invisible wall right in front of the nose of your gun. But Dark Beam works exactly as you would expect it to.
Yeah, I would assume, based on Op going to Sky Temple Ground, that she's going for the Torvis entry. Yep, right for Torvis. And it's also important to note, elevators are vanilla. Yeah, elevators will go to their original destination. As such, Cestrion will be entering Vault side of Sank.
You know, I wonder if Op forgot about Grav Boost, because I would have gone and grabbed that first, since I would know I'd be going to Torvis.
She can't.
Oh, you're right, because of the Dark Visor.
Well, that, but I was more thinking about the super missile door.
Oh, God.
There's a super door that locks access in...
I swear I've played this game before.
It's whatever Dark Meeting Grounds is. It's a door on the right side. And that one's supers. And Op really does not want to go for that gondola ride. So she's attempting a slope jump to get onto this little platform where the light portal is.
I mean, can you blame her?
Absolutely not. I completely agree with this. That gondola ride stinks. It is long, it is unforgiving, and it's just terrible to do. Okay, so we're going to go see Sank Map. Cestrion has Cobalt in hand. And this definitely will be Spider Ball. But first, we're going to take a nice little safety save.
So the big unknowns are those Torvis keys, and depending on where they are, that could change the way things go.
Absolutely.
Cestrion does not know they are not in labs.
Nope, but Op does. Op went through the entirety of labs outside of that one key on Battleground. You know, Battleground Incash still has a key, and that could either be Inghive or Torvis.
But I was going to say that I would expect Cestrion to just go straight through to quad, but Cestrion never did pick up the Annihilator beam. So
no.
Unless they want to do that gate skip.
You make a fair point. Yeah, without that Annihilator, it's going into Temple is okay-ish, but coming out's going to be the real challenge. The problem is there's not too many places Cestrion can really check, you know?
Hmm.
And Op is bound to stumble into Dark Visor any second now, since we're here in early Torvust. And there's the hint for Echo Visor.
But as Op is in Torvus, she will be catching up on all of those items in rapid succession.
Oh, yeah, big time. Although I would say it's confirmed, we really don't need gravity boost anymore. You know, it's we already know where the majors are. We know where Dark Visor, Echo Visor, Spider Ball, all the things we really need for the end of the game.
I don't think we've seen a hint for the Torvus keys, though.
No, and the only thing that gravity boost would be required for is if one of the Torvus keys are somehow on either Transport Tunnel East or South or Alpha Blog. So no, you're bringing up a good point. And with this being a J seed, anything is possible.
I mean, for all we know, one of those keys could be on Hive entrance.
You know, you really had to go say that, didn't you?
There has been a key on Hive entrance at least once in this tournament so far.
I believe you, but that's just a bad location.
Oh yeah, 100%. You hate when something's on Hive entrance, because 99% of the time you're going to be blind checking that. There is a hint for it, but the chances of being on the right layer when you go through Sank entrance in a rando is really low. I think he's going for the gate.
Yeah, he is. Alright, so in order to skip the gate going to the temple, we're going to perform a singular bomb jump, or double if you want more height. We're going to go into what's called an instant unmorph, and just quite literally jump over the gate.
So an instant unmorph works by obstructing the camera. So if the camera isn't correctly placed to show the unmorphing animation, it'll just skip it and you will have control of Samus immediately, instead of waiting the couple seconds for the animation to play.
Yeah, well, that's a great trick, especially for... It works the same way with instant morphs as well. That's a great trick for a lot of bomb space jumps and very specific movement tricks seen in Sank. Mainly to get the Spider Guardian's tunnel item without fighting him.
The bomb space jump works because when you regain control, you have a brief, I believe it's 3-frame window to input a command. The game essentially assumes you are grounded for 3 frames before it realizes you should be falling.
And Op just found her Dark Visor, so that's one step closer. Now, that being said, the Quadraxis fight. First phase, nothing really to it. You're going to aim at the kneecaps, you're going to shoot when they're blue, and destroy all 4 of them. Small little time save by staying close to the legs. We force Quadraxis to only do a stomp attack and prevent the spinning attack, as the mini-quads are doing. This saves a lot of time.
And Cestrion also demonstrated that it is possible to fight Quad without the Echo Visor on its first, as he screw attacked into that antenna on the first time it went up. So that is one of the few things that is visor specific, but not visor specific. And basically, what I mean by that is that in these games, typically when you're supposed to hit something with a specific visor, the hitbox doesn't even exist unless you're looking at it with that visor. Quad is not the case. So quad can be fought without Echo Visor, even though it's not particularly fun. Because you've got to manually aim at those antennas in Phase 2.
Oh no, Op is leaving Torvus.
Probably going back for Battlegrounds.
Yeah, with that Dark Visor in hand, you want to get confirmation on what that key is. And Op doesn't know it, but we do. Her third Aegon key is in Temple Grounds. Oh, nope, she's going back to, going back. And Cestrion showing off, saying, her Inghive gate skip again.
Oh, that looks terrible.
Yeah, but it worked. Triple bomb, space jump, and he's out. Oh, no, Pop's going for a safe warp back to Great Temple, it looks like. All right, you know what time it is, Rico?
What time?
It's 1 hour in. It's time for a 1 hour recap.
We know where everything is except for 2 Torvus keys.
Oh, hold on. That's big news for Cestrion. We just found the knowledge on the Dark Aegon keys.
God, Cobalt hinted Dark Aegon keys. That is hideous.
Yep, but that's going to lead him right to, I have it written down, Doomed Entry. Because they are in Dark Aegon. Alright, for all of you still keeping up with us here, it's time for your 1 hour recap. Over on the left with Cestrion. We've decided...
Oh, that is not what you wanted to see.
No, that's a terrible location for Inghive. It's a terrible location for any key. What am I saying?
I had a practice seed where that's where my morph ball bombs were.
I am so sorry. Just don't let Jay deal with your seed and you'll be okay. Don't let him generate it. Alright, but Op's double checking hints. Probably looking to see if all of honor's been hinted, if any knowledge on keys have been given. Cestrion double checking Emerald. I would say safely that Cestrion has a huge lead over Op in this case. Yeah, the biggest route divergence, Cestrion took a play right into early Torvus about a half hour in. And that Torvus play, doing the full loop, found a lot of useful items. They found the Cobalt, which was needed for Sank Map to get Spider. We found the Echo Visor, which is needed for the Quadraxis fight. Well, not needed, but extremely recommended, logic-wise. And instead, Op decided to dive into Aegon Labs, which makes sense. It is logical. Unfortunately,
for Annihilator Beam.
Yeah, unfortunately, Aegon Labs just did not really have much of anything else. So
Yep. By
spending
chasing
that
that Annihilator, she essentially took herself to the other side of the map from every other major.
Yeah, unfortunately, Torvus was just loaded today. But the good thing is she's going to come across that last Dark Aegon key. So she does have a bit of an advantage compared to Cestrion when it comes to key knowledge. Although Cestrion did get the hint that Dark Aegon had his last key. Oh, that's an Ink-Hive key. Oh, and the beam can be found in Vent Area A. Well, thanks, game. We found that relatively early. And thankfully for the Hall of Honor Dead puzzle, yeah, even though we are on New Patcher, this puzzle is never randomized. It stays the same no matter what version or patcher you're on.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone do the spinners in that order.
Well, either way, it's still the same number no matter what spinner.
Yep.
Yeah, very thankful because if this puzzle ever got randomized, I'm done. Not happening.
I'm kind of disappointed it didn't get randomized.
Alright, so what does Op do now? I mean, she's already gone through a good chunk of Torvus, but granted, supers are in Torvus, or off of Med Vista. So in order to logically get those, we would need Emerald. Oh, hold on, that brings up a good question. That's a very awkward chain for supers, as I need to double check the requirements for how that Torvus Temple elevator spawns.
The Torvus Temple elevator is only on after the item in Energy Controller has been picked up.
Okay, so that means you. Oh, that's a nasty logic. Then you only
And
have two
Cestrion
options.
demonstrating another trick that I cannot do to save my life. You can instant morph into that morph ball slot to raise the gate.
You know, talking about supers, realize there's only two logical ways to get them. Number one, you go through Aegon via Boost Ball and Seekers through the Portal Terminal elevator. Or B, you do the Light Warp from Tumos.
Ooh. Yeah, I think the game wants you to do the first.
Yeah, I would assume.
Though the thing is, rushing quad early can actually pay dividends because you get the ability to just warp between the energy controllers.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Tumos have to be logically collected with the Ink-Hive energy returned first?
Yeah, so if you can rush quad, return the energy, go to Tumos, you can warp.
Yeah, that's fair, but I'm trying to. Well, no, I can see where that might be useful. Yeah,
But it really tends to only be helpful if you can do quad really early in a seed.
and Ops assigned to beeline that key in Battleground. She really wants to know what it is. Yeah, she already picked up that last key off of Hall of Honored. So I would assume, based on the current train, we're gonna get that key off of Battleground, and then most likely just go straight for Amorphous. Yeah, get that fight out of the way. I wonder if this is a Chika key though, because we still have no knowledge on one of the Ink-Hive keys. Oh,
It is a
yes.
Chikaki.
That's really big information for Op, and here's why. Cestrion doesn't have the knowledge of Battleground being required. He has not gone to labs at all. That was fully skipped.
Yeah, so he did not scan that key bearer.
Mm-mm. No, so Op has knowledge on all, well, not all, but one of the majors.
I think, though, Cestrion will probably find that soon, because it appears to me that he is finally on his way to labs.
I agree, and I think Op's in good position, as once she gets to Dark Torvus, then she's going to come across Putrid Alcove almost immediately. But the problem is, where's the third Torvus key? Oh, yeah.
You know, it could be in Storage C.
Oh, that's fair, and that would require Op to go all the way to Med Vista.
Yep.
Oh, that's so far out of the way. I would say that this race comes down to who can find the last Chika key first.
Did Cestrion... I don't think Cestrion had a power bomb when he went to Mining Station B. So, it could be behind that power bomb check, too.
Yeah, I thought that's fair. We haven't checked that yet. But Cestrion's routing's pretty clean. You know, we used the elevator in Lower Torvus to get to Sank, then used the Sank Spider elevator to come back to Aegon Labs, the area he hasn't cleaned up yet. That was pretty good routing. And once again, showing power bombs against bosses that are not, you're not supposed to have them at, equals pure devastation. Oh, and nice bonk. Yes, with that being said, we're just going to keep on searching the hunt for that. Either A, find that Chika key hint, or B, come across it by hope. As unfortunately, we do not have the region hint for it.
What? Oh, I think I know where... No, Cestrion has not been to Sank Entrance, has he?
No, Sank Entrance is still unknown.
I think that's where our Torvus key hint is.
Ouch.
Because I'm pretty sure we've seen everything else.
Cobalt-wise, yes. Yes, we have.
And then Cestrion did the full loop around Lower Torvus. So we've seen the Emerald hints. And I cannot think of an Amber hint that was not scanned.
Nope, we already checked Mining Station B, we checked Far Side, we checked everything. And Violet Translator, nope, I think we scanned all the Violet ones too. Oh, that's going to be a big headache.
Well, there's that key.
Yeah, but that was an Ink Hive, wasn't it?
No, that's the last Aegon key.
Oh, right, Doomed Entry. Right, because Battleground had a Chika key on it.
Yep.
And here we see a Morbus, Guardian of the Dark Aegon Temple. Now, when it comes to a Morbus, our best weapon is either Charged Light Beam or Supers. In this case, Light Beam.
Light Beam, I believe, is a little faster.
And we're going to destroy the armor plating and place a bomb inside the Morbus, and we're going to spawn a second worm. Now thanks to us having boost ball, we're going to attempt what we call worm skip. And Cestrion just stumbled into that Chicka key. So that covers that. There goes all that lead. Alright, worm skip. We're going to damage the first worm, and then we're going to damage the second one. Now, while the second one is still squirming around, we want to go ahead and try to damage it. Our biggest thing is we want to damage both worms at the same time as they're both going through their damage squiggle.
Yeah, if you can damage the second worm before the first worm gets back into the ground, you will skip the cutscene trigger and move on to phase 3, except the third worm will not spawn. And we have both runners in a Morbus at the same time.
And it's very important to note, you might be hyped, oh, hey, I did worm skip, I wonder what happens next.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Op. Please don't do it.
Okay, good. They're waiting. She's waiting.
Yeah, if you do a second worm skip, you will soft lock yourself in this room because you need this cutscene to trigger.
Yeah, as unfortunately the cutscene is what triggers the destruction of the core and the spawning of the item. And I guess who learned the hard way that if you do worm skip a third time, it leads to consequences. Learned that one the hard way. Alright, Cestrion's going for worm skip. First worm down. Can we get worm number 2? And he's got worm number 2. Alright, so that's 1 STK for Op, 2 for Cestrion coming up. Now, Op has everything she needs in order to go fight Quadraxis. Unfortunately, we still need to go to Torvus to find the rest of our Chicka keys. And one is still unknown.
Oh, God.
I know he's risking it, but no, Cestrion knows better. Cestrion knows to wait.
Was there a secret RA to give me a heart attack?
Well, if you want that, I can think of a few different tricks they can do to try that.
Oh, God.
Hey, we got a list of these for a reason, Rico. Come on.
And so, for those of you curious why Cestrion and Op shot that crystal with Dark Beam, putting it into that state actually gives you a little bit more height, which lets you make that space jump. If you do not, you still can do it, but you've got to initiate a falling screw.
Well, Op has decided to make her ways into Torvus, thanks to the elevator off of Aegon Portal side. And as such, we are going to stumble into Underground Tunnel, and consequently find our Echo and our supers.
Ooh, I wonder how upset she's going to be when she finds that supers and realizes how long they've been in logic for.
Probably not too happy. Now, this begs a question on Cestrion's side. What do you check to try to find that last Chicka key?
Well, it looks like Cestrion is going for Phazon Grounds and what is that? Profane Shrine?
Profane Path?
Yes.
Oh, the Profane Shine sounds a lot cooler. I'll take it. Now, I would say after those 2 checks, he's probably going for Sank Entrance for that other Cobalt hint.
Oh, looks like he's not going for those 2 checks at all. Oh, I think he's going for Sank Entrance.
Yeah, get the Cobalt hint and see if it has any worth to you.
He's realized that it has to be this Cobalt hint.
And Up just saw her supers. And is going for him. We're going to jump over to the platform. Oh, we just overshot by a hair.
I wonder how disappointed he was when he saw that Inghive key.
I mean, it is a little bit bait. Yeah, hey, look, I found the red key. Is that the last one I need? No. Oh, darn. Yeah, at this point, I would hope that that last Chica key is somewhere in Dark Lower Torvus. That's the only place I can really think of that would be viable for the key.
I mean, it could be right here in Sank Entrance. We don't know what this is.
You're absolutely right. It could be anywhere. Anywhere with an open check left. And nice, destroying the pirate as soon as it spawns. As the spawns will stay the same. And now we have to reload the room to activate the cannon. Meanwhile, it's decided to go for Torvus Plaza. We took the long way around from Med Vista. And like we said, the biggest thing we're looking for right now for go mode is a Dark Torvus key. We know where every other major is. We just need that one key. And Sank Entrance has something. That's not a red key.
And I have missed that jump way too many times.
All right, this Cobalt hint. Stank Fortress.
So he knows he's in the right region now. What have we not seen? We have not seen what's on Spider Guardian proper.
We haven't seen main gyro chamber.
Yes, we haven't seen the gyro.
Sentinel's path is open.
That it is.
We could. Airy is technically open.
Oh.
Because Airy's a light. Airy's a Sank check, not Inghive. It could be required Airy for that last key. It could be. No. Did it? Could be watch station access. I don't think we went through that yet. I think that's all the checks we have left. We already did Cat West. We did.
I want to say that Cestrion spot checked that because he was in the area.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if he took the long way around through Sentinel's path or if he cut through straight to watch station. And now Op has the information on Sank Map being a morph ball system, and after finding Cannonball, even though it's not hinted, is pretty confident that that's where she'll find Spider. Unfortunately, that is locked by Cobalt, which is on Boost Guardian. So I would assume based on the equipment Cestrion has, we're probably going to do main gyro chamber first, followed by Sentinel's path, and then followed by, I would say we'll do Spider Guardian first, and then Airy second if we haven't found it. But that is a terrible key location no matter where it is. And I think Op is done here in Torvus. She's going straight back. You know, we have the supers. So that's going to get Defiled Shrine if she's thinking about Gravity Boost.
I probably would be.
Yeah, now we have to reload main gyro for the echo locks to spawn. But nope, we're going right for Sentinel's Path.
I mean, might as well.
Yeah, it's right here. I mean, you're hoping it's on either Sentinel's Path or main gyro. You really don't want that key on the boss. And the nice thing about new patcher, I think it's in the old one too. We can scan these little echo doors, and they tell us exactly what order to hit them in.
Yeah, there's another thing I did not know.
Oh yeah, it's extremely helpful. Unfortunately, Sentinel's Path was not the red key.
And there's the last Inghive key.
Heck of a place for it. Alright, so if the red key is not on main gyro, then it has to be on Spider Guardian or Airy. Because we've checked.
Which one do you do first in this scenario?
I personally would do Airy first, just because it doesn't take as long. And you're right here in main gyro, it makes sense. I really don't ever want to do Spider Guardian.
And there it is.
Main gyro had the last Chica key.
And Cestrion has unfortunately dodged 2 very entertaining bullets.
That is sadness for the booth and all of us watching. But Cestrion's probably feeling pretty good right now.
Oh yeah, he's got everything he needs to... Has he seen Cannonball?
No, he has not seen Cannonball. Cannonball is locked behind Dynamo Chamber over in Temple.
Ah, okay, so he's going to be doing the full fight the way it was intended.
Yeah, I doubt he would go back to Temple Ground and start searching for Cannon. And unfortunately, there is no way to get Cannonball without breaking the out of bounds rule. At least not to my knowledge. If anyone else knows a way around it, by all means, tell me. But I'm about 95% certain.
The only way I know to get Cannonball would be to do out of bounds, so...
Cestrion has just taken the elevator from South. Excuse me. He's taken the elevator from Sank Vault side to Lower Torvis. And because this is open, we can go straight from Lower Torvis to Upper Torvis and make a beeline for Chica. Now, Op is back in Torvis. She made a small detour to go get that gravity boost off of Defiled Shrine. Took a little bit of time to get there. But the plus side is that she'll have everything she needs for a safe Torvis passage. Excuse me.
Yeah, in hindsight, we know that that's not going to pay off for her. But I like going back for gravity boost, to be completely honest, because she doesn't know where those Torvis keys are, and without gravity boost she can't even check what's in TTE. Simultaneous super missile door.
That was pretty good. I like that. I don't know if I would agree with a Lower Torvis play right now, though. I don't know. Personally, I would probably clear up Upper Dark Torvis first.
I think she's playing for the hints.
That makes sense. You know, you have Emerald. All of your Emerald hints are in Lower Torvus outside of two. Torvus Energy and Path of Eyes. Nope, Path of Roots, Hollow Roots. Pick an answer, Marion.
And like just thinking about it, like I think in this scenario, like I would assume that the Dark Torvus key hint would be on Emerald. Because generally like the keys are placed when you would logically have access to the area. So by this point, she logically has everything she needs to get around in Torvus. So I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that the hint would have been placed at the same time you could get around Torvus.
I
Once
agree
again,
with what you're
in
saying.
hindsight, we know it's not there.
No, I agree with what you're saying to an extent. But then again, we also have everything we need for a logical Sank play. Outside of main power bombs, per se, but, you know. Alright, when it comes to the Chica fight, fast ways to kill her. Well, not too terribly much.
Cannonball.
But yeah, except we don't have Cannonball. Yes, Cannonball completely destroys the second phase.
So you're supposed to release that cocoon by firing a Seeker missile at it, but you don't have to. So Chica is one of the few enemies that you need to scan in order to be able to do maximal damage to it. Now, what we're seeing here first is Cestrion essentially using the light beam like a shotgun to hit Chica as it surfaces. Chica is actually weak to the dark beam, but good luck hitting it with dark beam in that phase. And the rate of fire on Annihilator is so much faster that you can get a lot done by doing that.
And Op just found the information for Under Transit 1 having a major. So that's probably guiding her to the information of main power bombs or spider ball. She's thinking one of the two.
This is a very clean fight from Cestrion.
They have a nice simple 2-phase. Alright, Chica Adult. And when it comes to Adult, our main method here, we're going to stun her, walk around to the backside, and use Seekers on all the wings to damage them all at once. Then rinse and repeat. Now, if we had Cannonball, this fight would already be over, as Cannonball does 500,000 hit points of damage per frame to Chica, but only to Adult.
Yeah, so basically you would morph into Morph Ball and just wedge yourself underneath her tail.
Yeah, but sadly, no Cannonball today. We have to watch the entire fight. And then once we're done here, we're going to be rushing right to Sky Temple. And then once we reach 50% damage, Chica Adult Light comes back, and we have to rinse and repeat the wings section.
Fun fact, Chica will actually deflect missiles if you try to fire them at her from the front. So I don't recommend that.
And now that the wings are gone, we now have Chica Adult Dark coming back. And thankfully, this is the final phase. This fight is over. There's that last SDK. Cestrion just needs to take a save warp to Great Temple. We can walk down to Sky Temple, and we'd be all set. A nice little fun fact for anyone who'd like to use Randomizer and have a cursed seed of their own. These platforms that we're jumping on with Dark Visor, they have collision without it. Those platforms are still spawned in without it. Unfortunately, as you can't see them, have fun trying to find them.
I don't recommend trying to do that NSJ. You can, but you shouldn't.
That does not sound proper at all. Just based on the distances between each platform.
Like, you have to get it perfect.
Reminds me of that bomb jump over in that NSJ method over in bioenergy production.
Oh, that sounds like hell.
I had to do it once, and that was enough. So many save points. Or save states, yeah. Alright, well, Cestrion is in go mode. He's got all the 3 Guardians defeated. It is now time to go for the Emperor Ring and get this fight over. Unfortunately, she's still continuing through Torvus. We have yet to go into Sank and fight Quadraxis. And we are still searching for those Chica keys. Now, she could go to Sank Vault side, but unfortunately, due to Spider Ball being locked behind Sank Map Station, we need Cobalt for that. And Cobalt is here in Dark Torvus. So, we got a little bit of time left. But I will say, Jay did not generate a cursed seed as he has for the tournament lately.
Well, I mean, he did give Dark Torvus key hint on Sank entrance.
Yes, that's fair. But then again, counter argument, Sank entrance was open from FTA. And yes, chat, supers are in Torvus. The super missiles were found in Meditation Vista.
And Cestrion is greeted by that last ing key as he makes his way to Sky Temple.
As we come up to the Emperor Ring fights, we can sit back and reflect on how this entire race has gone. It's been a magnificent race, to say the least. You know, both runners put up their all. They
have both been fantastic.
Neck and neck for the longest time. But I do have to put it down to that Cestrion routed in Torvus extremely early at the half-hour mark, while Op decided to stay in Aegon and do some clearing, and then progress into Temple Grounds, and then a little bit of this. You know, by entering Torvus so late, that just set up the entire domino chain. And Op is deciding to go for boost Guardian, so she'll stumble into Cobalt.
Well, she knows that it has Cobalt. She scanned the hit.
All right, so I'm not so stumble is the completely wrong adjective. So we'll get Cobalt, and that in turn will lead us right to our Spider Ball. But But we're going to fight the Emperor Ring. Now, there are a few quick kill methods we're looking for here. Emperor Ring number 1. We're going to shoot the 4 tentacles with Light Beam and either spam fire Annihilator or use 4 super missiles. Looks like we're going for the Annihilator. We don't want to get hit by the laser. And we got a beautiful 1 cycle. Emperor Ring number 2. We're using Spider Ball on the exoskeleton. We're rolling around to make smaller tentacles pop out of the crevices and then blow them up, either with power bombs or regular bombs. Once all 11 are down, we can spawn the actual Emperor Ring himself.
With Cannonball, this phase is trivial.
Oh, that was beautiful 3 power bombs. Perfect cycle.
For Emperor Ring 3, there was originally going to be an extra phase to this fight where you would have to destroy a shield around Emperor Ing's kneecaps with the screw attack. They decided to cut that, but for whatever reason, they left the hitbox for the shield in the game, and that hitbox ties directly into Emperor Ing's health. So you can hit this invisible hitbox that is still in the game with screw attack and deal massive damage to this boss.
And just like that, that boss fight is over.
There is a little bit of risk to that. If you defeat Emperor Ing with screw attack while it's firing the laser attack, you run the risk of crashing.
And no one wants to have a crashed game. That just leads to bad times.
Especially in the final bosses.
Oh, yeah. You do not want to die on final.
So now what Cestrion is going to attempt to do here is prevent Dark Samus 3 from transitioning into Dark Samus 4. Dark Samus 3 can take damage really fast. Dark Samus 4, not so much. So he's bringing her right down to the threshold where she will make her change, and he's going to attempt to deal damage with a screw attack or super missile right here as she lands.
Yeah, we don't want to get centered.
You got it.
Yeah. Yeah,
you'll know if you skipped the trigger if you can use Dark Visor. Now, because she has passed her trigger point, she can transition at any point. So you want to try and keep her stuck in an animation loop, which done beautifully right there.
And Op has decided to forfeit as well. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to send some invites out. We're going to get both runners in here for some post-game commentary. So bear with us just a few moments. On that note, anyone in chat, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or inquiries you'd like to bring to either of us in the booth or to our runners themselves, please, by all means, post them below and we'll be sure to transition your questions as we get to them. Now, I just need a little bit of time for this bot to catch up to me. As this bot is slow today. Okay, so that one worked. The other one didn't want to work. That's nice.
The true final boss is technology.
Oh, she's telling me about it. Like I'm running on a Windows 95 over here. Oh, no, I can't say that because 95 actually is still stable. There it goes. Okay, that should send out the commands now that both have been confirmed complete. Yep, there we go. Got it. So with that being said, welcome both of you to the booth. Good game.
Yeah, GG's.
Yeah, GG's.
GG's.
So, do you want to know where the Dark Torvis key hint is?
Where?
It's bad.
Sank entrance.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that I got like 2 keys without the hint. But then after Morbus, I was like, okay, I read every other hint except Sank Entrance, so it has to be that one.
Yeah,
And just get done with it.
I started figuring that, but I was holding off until I got Spider, and then I never found that. I think it might have been Saint Map.
It
Yeah,
was.
so,
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was my last resort.
Alrighty, so with that being said, I guess with this being Guardian Slayer being a new week and all, how do you both feel about this little race here?
Honestly, I thought it would be way worse. But maybe I just routed really good.
Your route was pretty much near perfect.
Yeah, the only issue was like that stupid hint for the Taurus keys. But oh
Yeah,
well.
that's terrible.
Like I knew where every item is at the 48-minute mark. Like every major. So I was like, well, except for grapple. Oh, grapple was in sand processing. Amazing.
Yeah, I also forgot I had Seekers for a while, so I could have checked what was it, Sank Entrance immediately after I got Dark Visor, but I just remembered to wait.
I didn't want to go there yet until I got the Cobalt, and then I was like, well, at this point I got so much progression. Let's just
Oh
go on a
yeah,
hint spree
yeah, I messed
and
up
hope that you
Cobalt.
just
So good.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I messed up Cobalt too by not going into front Torvus first instead of side Torvus. That's because I forgot I had Seekers. So, yeah, I think that mistake really cost me a lot of time.
So, Cestrion, on the note of routing, do you want to take us through why you chose to go to Torvis when you did?
So when I had already Violet and Amber, so I knew that it's when I was getting space jump boots. I knew that missile launcher had to be somewhere in Temple grounds, or Great Temple in this case, because of missile doors, and we didn't have main launcher yet. So I was like, okay, let's just break it with unlogical missiles. Got bombs, and then nice. Okay, can get another hint. And then I was already in the mood of, okay, let's just go clear early Aegon, early Dark Aegon, the event A section, and then yeah, just go back then, do the Temple Grounds, clean up the Temple Ground loop. When I got Emerald, I was like, okay, this is a really big call to go to Torvus, because we also get a suit. I knew that Supers and Echo Visor was 2 rooms away from each other, so they were either somewhere in labs or they are just very close by in Torvus and Upper Torvus. So I decided to go check Pod W, go Half Undead, do the instant unmorph to get another 2 hints. So basically trying to go for a hint spree, more or less, or a hint route to efficiently get them. And that's why I went to Taurus, because of that Emerald Translator. And
So that
also
was
the knowledge.
Go on. I'm sorry.
And also the knowledge that Cobalt was in Taurus too. So that's what was.
Where was the hint for that?
Which hint?
Cobalt.
The Cobalt hint? It was
Yeah.
a mining station B. So after I got Dark Beam
I
and
never
A,
went
I
there.
immediately went back since we had Seekers. So I went back for that hint and
Damn.
visually checked the items.
I forgot all
But
about that room. I never went there.
Yeah, that was a big big hint for me.
So that was the first real major point of divergence in your two routing, because up to that point, you were basically doing exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But once you got to the Temple Ground route, Cestrion decided to go to Torvis, while Op stayed in Aegon.
I should have trusted my gut. Damn it.
Yeah, that was the biggest divergence. And everything else was just y'all were just retracing each other's steps afterwards. I read that. Let's see what else was on this. What else was on this list here? Oh, that was a good one. Cestrion, this was one more directed to you. You found your Dark Torvis key information on Sank entrance. But here's the bad part about that. You knew you had the Sank key left, and there was only really 4 locations left.
Yeah, I was already prepared for like, oh, it's Airy, Dr. Torvis key, yay!
Airy
or
or
like
Spider Guardian.
Guardian. Which means that I think the last Inghive key was actually in Sky Temple Grounds, so
It was.
yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, was the
You walked
around.
right
Yeah, it was
past
that
it.
key you passed on your way to the temple.
Yeah, so yeah. Anyway, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be. It can only be a bad location, so it's whatever.
Well, I mean,
But it was fortunately not a boss fight.
no, but on the bright side, Op, you found all that Aegon information, which had to have helped you out somewhat in your routing.
Yeah, I felt like I was on a good pace up until probably leaving Aegon, and then it all went to yeah, due to
It all went downhill.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't had the info for the key that was in Battleground for a long time. But you had to go get to Torvis first, to go back for it later, so it was fine for me then. But I was fearing that like all the Aegon keys and Torvis keys were like free in labs somehow, but yeah. Never got punished.
Yeah, and then you found supers off of Med Vista. That must have been a game changer.
Yeah, that was really important because that was like, okay, I get this major, I get another major. I know another major is in Dark Torvis Arena, and at that point I was like really just go get hints. You just need Spider and your go mode, or like semi go mode. You can like do everything, but you still need the info for the keys where they are.
Both of you nearly gave me a heart attack here in the booth watching your Amorbis fight, where you were both there at the same time, and one after another set up for a second worm skip.
So when I do this, I keep my right hand off my controller completely until I need. No, okay, now it's fine.
That's very smart.
Yeah, I just licked my thumb up.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. If you do worm skip, you can't play the game anymore. That was a fun lesson. All right, well, we don't have any questions by chat, it seems. They're all commenting about the routing. But other than that, let's see what else is on this notepad here. Nope, that just... Oh, let's see. Spider Ball on Sank map. How do you feel about that?
I didn't particularly feel bad about it because I already had the items that I need for it. But when I got the hint for that, it was a 50-50 until I got the other hint for a major upgrade in Unknown Transit 1. Which worst case was Grapple Beam. Neutral way would be Power Bombs, and best would be Spider Ball. But yeah, it was main PBs, so then I knew, okay, it's for a fact Spider Ball on Sank map. But I didn't particularly was mad about it because I already had the items for it.
I would have been fine if I hadn't brain farted and forgotten about Seekers. Because I got the hint fairly early, if I remember correctly.
Right, you had that information, you had the knowledge.
Right.
but due to the severe lack of secrets checks, especially in Aegon, only maybe 2, if that. It's easy to forget sometimes when you're on a roll.
Right.
Yeah, it can happen. I one time forgot that I had Dark Beam. Even
Wait,
though
how do
it's
you
like plain.
You what?
Yeah, I know. It's plain obvious. You have Dark Beam, but I forgot that I had Dark Beam. It happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I even passed over, what was it? Hall of Honor Dead.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one had the Aegon key that you're probably looking for the entire time.
Right.
Yeah, that was Aegon key.
I mean, key locations, they weren't terrible per se. I mean, Hall of Honor Dead, yeah, that was a bit out there. Doomed Entry was a freebie. And then Transit Station. That's not the right room name.
Transport Center.
Transport Center. I always get the 2 backwards. I know one's in Sank.
Yeah, the transit station is insane. But
Yeah,
no, there is technically also a transit station in Aegon, but that's the room after MSB when you do the room vanilla, the Mothball Tunnel.
Oh,
Yeah, but no one ever uses it.
Shout out to
Very-
Mustang. Sorry.
Very, very rarely use that room, yeah. Maybe if other bouncers allowed you to use that room.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see that happening.
Shout out to most of the hints being garbage.
Yeah, not too much information off of your Amber hints. It was a great start. You had Amber right before going to Aegon entrance. That was beautiful. Unfortunately, Aegon just was not compliant today.
Yeah, I
Even
did
Florida-
notice that a lot of hints only came into logic after you had the item they were hinting.
Yeah, even Torvis. For the most part.
Yeah.
And let's see. Other than that, I guess we'll go with anything else that if you two would do anything differently per se. Would there be? What would that be?
Remember,
I
I have
actu-
speakers.
Yeah. I actually got bailed out by the PB expansion in Plaza Access in Torvus. Because otherwise I would have probably had to go back some time back to Pre-Deco for that Torvus key.
The Torvus keys were all over the place.
Yeah, the Torvus keys were the worst.
Yeah, that's all the notes I have from here. Everything else is just item locations and the routing differences. I mean, so I got nothing else. Rico, anything you have on your end?
So, how high were your hopes when you saw that red key in FTA Cestrion?
That was nice bait.
Oh, I knew that it was an Inghive key because we had the Inghive or the Hive Temple key hint very early, and I knew one was in Temple Grounds. So I didn't have high hopes for it.
Well, I completely forgot that you had that hint.
Yeah, it was
I
like
did
I think
too.
Sky Temple Grounds, and the last one I forgot.
No, I didn't write it down. I mean, Hive keys were practically worthless. You just did temple skips, so
Yep.
you just skipped all of them right over top.
On that note, how about that first try gate skip?
First try
Oh,
gate skip. Which gate?
That Torvus gate.
Yes.
Oh, that
Well-
one. Yeah. Yeah. Once you put a lot of practice into it, it's fairly consistent. You just like when you get the BSJ out of it, you just flick and then just like clip to the gate.
All right, I guess with that being said, is there anything anyone else would like to say before we wrap up our program tonight?
No, I think I'm good.
Rico, anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
I just want to double check the status of our second race, but I believe they're already at the conclusion. I cannot type today. Thanks, computer.
Oh yes, there is one thing I would like to say.
Yeah,
Please
they're
follow our
concluding.
runners. They are both fantastic.
Absolutely.
And also follow the commentators.
Okay, the bot does not seem to like us today.
Hmm.
I can't get that to work. Someone else probably can. All right, with that being said, thank you everyone for joining us here today at Speed Gaming. We really appreciate all the support and love over the years. And be prepared for a lot more to come from the Metroid community. We've got a lot in the works. But with that being said, unfortunately, this is the last weekly race for tonight, though. You know, don't worry, we got a lot left in store for this tournament. Tomorrow, we have 2 races scheduled, one at 5 o'clock Eastern, one at 8 Eastern. Now, the one at 5, we have Schwartz-Gandhi versus Race Shy with a runner's agreement of out of bounds. So we could be seeing a lot of out of bounds shenanigans going on tomorrow at 5. And following after that, at 8, we have Lokir versus Ivy with multiplayer pickups shown in the mix. So double damage, unlimited beam ammo, unlimited missile. That's sure to bring a lot of damage logic into play. So other than that, again, unfortunately, this is... What are you thinking?
One more
Yeah.
question. Where was Cannon again? I forgot.
Dynamo Chamber and Temple?
Okay, thanks.
Oh, I actually
Okay.
never picked that up.
Me neither. I was trying to remember where it was, before I went back, but I forgot. All right, that's it.
Yeah. Nope, you're all right. So with that being said, we did have one other race tonight. It was at the same time frame versus Uncle Reggie and Reed Whaley. Unfortunately, that race is in post-game commentary right now. So if you'd like to catch the end of that, by all means, you can head over to Speed Gaming 4. So until tomorrow, we will see everyone in the next mission.